It's Monday, January 11th. My name is Pam, and welcome to the reading of the Times Reporter newspaper. We'll start with the area deaths. Charles Richard Elmer, 92, of Newcomerstown, passed away Friday, January 8th at SEORMC in Cambridge. Services will be held Wednesday, January 13th at 1 p.m. at the Addy Funeral Home in Newcomerstown. Burial will follow at Westlawn Cemetery. Visitation will be Wednesday prior to the service from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the funeral home. Virginia Hall, 95, passed away January 5th from natural causes in Akron. A family graveside service will be held Saturday, January 9th. A celebration of her life will be held at a later time. Carol Jo Krieger passed away quietly at home on January 1st following a 5-year battle with cancer. A celebration of life open house later this year will replace the formal viewing service. Randall W. Taylor, known as Randy, 72, of Bolivar, passed away Thursday, January 7th at his residence. A private family memorial service will be held by the family with public celebrations of life to be held in Bolivar and Paulding at later dates. Well, that concludes the reading of the area deaths from today's online edition. Let's begin with our first article. Liquor agents cite Midvale area bar over COVID restrictions. 2 area bars were cited by state agents accused of violating COVID-19 pandemic rules. DK's Bar and Grill at 2959 Brightwood Road, Southeast New Philadelphia in the Midvale area, and the Musical Inn at 3941 Navarre Road Southwest in Canton Township, and were issued citations for improper conduct and disorderly activity. The Musical Inn also was cited for drug possession. The night spots were among those visited overnight Friday by the Ohio Investigative Unit. The plainclothes officers regularly conduct compliance checks to ensure that liquor permit holders comply with the state's Liquor Control Act as well as COVID-19 directives. Ohioans are currently subject to a 10 p.m. curfew issued by Governor Mike DeWine, an order in effect through January 23rd. According to a press release from the agency, agents visited DK's at 12:10 a.m. and observed 6 patrons consuming alcohol and moving freely throughout the bar. Agents visited Musical Inn at 1:20 a.m. and observed approximately 50 patrons drinking alcohol, standing elbow to elbow, and congregating. Suspected narcotics were recovered from behind the bar. The cases will be presented to Ohio Liquor Control Commission for potential penalties, including fines and the possible suspension or revocation of the business liquor permits. And now, the January 4th meeting of the Janaden-Hutton Village Council meeting. The key action. Ty Twarog, water plant operator, explained to council that he has had notifications from residents about discolored water within the village. He went on to explain that this is due to encountering clogged filters during the backwashing of the filters at the water plant. He feels that there is sediment in the system that is breaking free. He went on to explain that the filters are very expensive to replace, and he would hate to invest that money when the new plant that is in the final planning stages will not support the filtration system. And the discussion was Jesse Phillips, the contracted wastewater operator, said that there was a major issue with the pump prior to Christmas. He said that through replacement and rebuild equipment, this was resolved. Shortly after, the new pump arrived, and they now have a backup in case this happens again. Mayor Rich Gilmore gave the police report as Police Chief Moody was at a girls' basketball game providing security. He said that there were over 1,100 miles on the police cars in the month of December. He said that the annual report offered that there were 211 total calls, which averaged to 17.6 police calls per month. There was no note of any citations that were issued. Councilwoman Keely Cockman asked the mayor when the Christmas lights would be taken down in the village, since Christmas is over. He said that the removal would start the following day. Councilman Dean Steer was elected president of council for 2021 by a unanimous vote of his peers. Mayor Gilmore asked the council if they would like to chair a different committee in 2021 than the committee they were responsible for in 2020. Councilman Dave Frey suggested that they remain in the same committees. Everyone else on the council agreed and were pleased to remain within their committees. Mayor Gilmore called on the committees for their reports. Steer reported that as the chair of the Finance Committee, he, along with the mayor and fiscal officer, came up with the pay ordinance for 2021. He stated that they decided to give everyone a 1.5% raise across the board. This was determined since the cost of living raise is calculated at 1.3%, and they rounded up to 1.5%. Councilman Chris Edwards asked if their performance evaluation was used or would be used towards this raise in pay. Mayor Gilmore told the council that he will instruct the village administrator to do their evaluations by the end of the month. The mayor noted that he has only been in the office for a year and has not had the opportunity to structure the evaluation. Councilman Jeff Strucken felt that their one evaluation should not have any bearing on their pay raise. He felt that performance reviews should be used moving forward and that this pay ordinance should be approved as it is proposed. Cockman stated that she would have liked to have been included in the finance meeting where this was discussed. Others stated the same. Edwards said when he did the math, the raises were not consistent with 1.5%, with a couple that were between 5 to 10% raise per hour. When questioned how they came up to these numbers, Steer said that it is the way it has always been done. Steer then motioned to take a vote to approve. Strucken seconded the motion, and the mayor called for a vote, the ordinance for the pay raises, and it was passed 5-1. Frey reported that the tree on Heckritter that was discussed in previous meetings will be completely down and the property owners will utilize the firewood. Edwards noted that he will schedule a water and wastewater committee meeting the week of January 18th. He will have the clerk put the notification in the newspaper. Councilman Alex Knecht asked Fiscal Officer Kim Stahl about financial information needed for a grant that is being applied for to help with the streets and sidewalk upgrades that are being engineered. She said that information should be available by the end of the month. Knecht noted that the deadline for the application is January 29th. Strucken complimented the Brick House on Main Street for the beautiful light display for the Christmas season. He noted that as cars pulled over or stopped in the street to view the display, it created a hazard. He suggested that the village add gravel along the road in the right-of-way to prevent the mud from being pulled onto the street. He also felt this would prevent the lawn that they maintain from being torn up. Discussion among council suggested that they approach the owners to see what they would like to take place. Cockman shared a conversation that she had with the choir director at Indian Valley High School. She mentioned that due to COVID restrictions, many of the choir events have to be canceled. She asked if it would be possible to utilize the stage at Hex Grove Park in the spring for the seasonal concert. She also mentioned using the lawn at the town hall for some events. Council will gather more information on this. All members seemed favorable to this idea. And the next meeting will be on January 18th at 6 p.m. in the Village Hall and via Zoom. Did you know Democrats are to meet to select members of Board of Election? In New Philadelphia, the Tuscarawas County Democratic Party has announced a meeting of the Executive Committee at 6 p.m. February 2nd for the purpose of electing a Democrat to the Tuscarawas County Board of Elections for a 4-year term commencing March 1st, 2021. The seat is currently held by Jeremiah Johnson, who is seeking election. The meeting is for Executive Committee members and is being hosted by the Ohio Democratic Party on Zoom, by phone, or online. Due to the pandemic restrictions, in-person meeting is being limited to 10 people or less. For more information or for those interested in the seat, send a resume to tuskdems@gmail.com prior to January 25th. And now the December 30th meeting of the Tuscarawas Village Council. Key action was a motion was passed to submit an application through the Omega for the Safe Request to School Routes to School grant. The motion was made following a notice read from Mayor Dana Moore about the opening of the program applications. The village can ask for up to $400,000 with no local match. An estimate will be needed to apply. In other action, Council set a work session for January 28th at 6 p.m., 1 hour prior to the start of the regular meeting. Agreed to review the overtime policy before the next meeting. A motion was passed approving the supplemental appropriations report for 2020. The report shows money that was moved within funds by Fiscal Officer Jennifer Price. A motion was passed to keep the community center closed through the end of March due to the pandemic. Ordinances were read and adopted that referred to agreements between the village and ODOT for various services, including ice and snow removal. For your information, trash totes have been ordered at a cost of $5,450. Administrator DJ Meek and Harold Booth installed a new AED defibrillator at the Tuscarawas Branch Library recently. Mayor Moore stated that committees would remain unchanged for the coming year with the addition of Matt Hunter on the BZA. And the next meeting will be January 14th at 7 p.m. in the Town Hall. And now, Midville pondering contracting with Denison and Yerkesville for fire response by Nancy Molnar. The Midville Fire Department may be heading into the history books as village officials are considering proposals from neighboring communities to respond to fires. A private ambulance company is offering to give the village emergency medical service. We wanted to let everyone know that we are currently in negotiations to contract out the fire department, Midville Fire Chief Jason Kukwa said on the department's Facebook page. Yerkesville has offered to provide fire protection for $16,000 a year for up to 5 years. It would charge $16 per capita for ambulance service in the first year and $17 for the second and third year. Denison has proposed providing fire response for $17,500 for the first and second year and $18,500 for the third through fifth year. Dover-based Smith Ambulance would provide emergency medical coverage for $17.75 per person. Kukwa said he, council members, and Mayor Larry Kopp are getting all the info needed to make the best decision to best suit this great community. Please have faith that we will not leave our community with anything but the best coverage and service possible, he wrote. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us and we will answer them to the best of our abilities. Kukwa invited anyone who wants to speak or hear about the issue to attend the next Village Council meeting at 6:30 p.m. Thursday at the Pavilion in Midville Community Park. Newcomers Town Area Family That Lost Home in New Year's Fire by Nancy Molnar. A family of 5 is building a new home with support from the community after fire destroyed their previous residence on New Year's Day. Although Jessica and Glenn Clark lost their possessions, except for 2 dogs, along with the double-wide modular home, they know the outcome could have been far worse. Firefighters had cleared them to return to the home after believing they had extinguished the fire on New Year's Eve. But since they had no heat, Jessica and Glenn decided to spend the night in his parents' nearby house with their children, Emma 5, Rowan 4, and Sarah 2. They didn't expect the fire to reignite. When I woke up in the morning a little after 7, half their home was fully engulfed in flames, said Marcia Clark, Glenn's mother. I thank the Lord that everybody was down here, even the 2 dogs. On the night the fire started, Jessica and Glenn had noticed an odd odor. I just kept smelling something, she said. It smelled really foul. Glenn suspected the smell came from the wood-burning stove that heated the home. We couldn't really locate what it was or where it was, said Glenn, a mechanic for the Tuscarawas County Sheriff's Office. There was no sign of smoke in the house. Glenn took a shower to get ready for bed. He knew something was wrong after getting out of the shower. Suspecting a chimney fire, he went outside around 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. There was no flames coming out of the chimney, so I looked up at the roof vents, and there was smoke coming out of the roof vents. He knew there must have been a problem between the ceiling and the roof. He got the rest of the family outside. They started putting their personal possessions outside too. Then the firefighters arrived. When they got there, they busted through the kitchen and over by the wood burner and into the living room, Glenn said, and they started putting it out. When they came out, they said, "It's all good to go." The unit, dating to the year 2000, had been on a hill near the home of James and Marcia Clark. Glenn and Marcia have been unable to buy insurance because the modular home was heated by a wood burner. The fire began at a cracked stovepipe in the crawl space between the ceiling and the roof, Glenn said. Smoke detectors he had installed 3 days earlier had not sounded because there was no smoke. "We were breathing carbon monoxide," Glenn said. Expecting to start repairing minor damage to their home on New Year's Day, the family put their possessions back inside. They went to his parents' house around 3:30 a.m. January 1st. Marcia saw the flames as she was getting ready to make coffee in her kitchen. Glenn scrambled to move 2 vehicles away from the burning home. Jessica and Glenn are building a new ranch home where their old one stood. It will have a 32 by 52 foundation, 5 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a walkout basement. The children are already making plans for their bedrooms. Sarah wants hers decorated with unicorns. Rowan wants dinosaurs. Emma wants trees, flowers, and grass. Helping to build the house are James Clark, other family members, friends, and members of the Amish community. The family has already received enough donations of clothing. Jessica has raised $6,545 of a $10,000 goal on GoFundMe.com. Donations may be sent or taken to the Tuscarawas County Sheriff's Office at 2295 Reiser Avenue Southeast, New Philadelphia. Checks should be payable to Glenn Clark or the Clark family. Friends are organizing a February 1st ammunition rifle to benefit the rebuilding effort. Tickets are available at the Sheriff's Office, at Woodland Outdoor and Supply in Tippecanoe, and Savvy Sniper Slings in Port Washington. Jessica expressed the family's gratitude for the outpouring of help from the community. "I would like to thank everyone for everything," she said on her GoFundMe page. "Every single donation is a giant help for the restarting of our lives." We had some amazing neighbors and family pitch in and help clean up the aftermath of our fire. Once that was gone, they dug out for our basement. Everything is moving along really well. All donations we are receiving are going directly towards rebuilding a home for our little family, Jessica wrote. "Everyone has been a giant blessing, and we can't thank you enough." Glenn described the loss of the family home as devastating. "I'm thankful everybody got out," he said. "The outcome could have been way worse. We could have gone to sleep, died of carbon monoxide poisoning," Glenn said. "It's over and done. Now it's time to move on." "I'm just thankful my kids are alive," said Jessica. "I know they had angels that night watching over them," Marcia said. In the news, follow village events through a newsletter. Village officials are offering an opportunity to sign up for newsletters from Mayor Pat Caddell about village news and events. To sign up, residents are asked to go to prod3.evo.cloud/newcomers/portal/login and sign up for portal access. Click on My Subscriptions, click on Mayor's Updates. Residents can also sign up for other areas of interest such as council meetings and more. For more information, email egress@newcomerstownohio.com. The village is also posting more information about the COVID-19 vaccine, available from the Tuscarawas County Health Department. That information includes answers to: is the COVID-19 vaccine safe for me to get? Can I develop COVID-19 symptoms from the vaccine? Should I isolate from others in my home if I get the vaccine before them? Why do I still need to take COVID-19 precautions like wearing a mask after receiving the vaccine? Should minorities be skeptical of this vaccine? Is the vaccine safe for pregnant women or women that are breastfeeding? Will children be receiving the vaccine? Is natural immunity from COVID-19 better than immunity from the COVID-19 vaccine? If I have received the flu shot, will I still be able to receive the COVID-19 vaccine? When will the general public receive the COVID-19 vaccine? And now, graduation. Newcomerstown High School officials announced that graduation for the class of 2021 will take place in Lee Stadium at 7 p.m. on Saturday, May 22nd, which is a change in usual times from previous years. Officials are also planning a senior parade at 5 p.m. on Friday, May 21st. A senior parade in 2020 was well received. West School news. The Lead, Educate, and Dream group at the Newcomerstown West Elementary has started our Cookies, Cakes, and More Club under the supervision of staff members Rhonda Kenny and Abby Collins. The two instructors create a new theme each week and even dress up for the part. The West School has also started a family newsletter. The most recent newsletter included Habit Number 2. I plan ahead and set goals for myself. I am prepared at all times. I think about how the choices I make now will affect my future. I think about the positive or negative consequences of my actions before I act. Several West School students were recognized at a virtual town hall meeting on December 18th. They include 2nd grade Leah Hughes, Braylee Stahl, Delaney Frenton, and Liam Bowser. 3rd grade Olivia Van Sickle, Hayden Swigert, Marcus Mercer, and Lydia Sheeling. 4th grade Aubrey Smith, Alex Rodriguez, Kristen Barker, and Bristol Kerr. 5th grade Bryson Wallace, Hope Amore, Marshall Norman, Bryce Gibbs. Library closed. The Newcomerstown Public Library will be closed Monday, January 18th in observance of Martin Luther King Day. Well, my dear friends, that concludes the reading of the Times Reporter for Monday, January 11th. My name is Pam. Please remember to stay safe. Thank you for having me in your home. Be blessed. Make it a great day.